The number one question from like my grandmother would be, "You're going to be a fool?" I'm sorry, and that's good. How that's a promotion somehow, right? Basically, it's from Shakespeare. The jester or the fool was the only person who could actually be honest to the king or queen without getting their head lopped off. So that's exactly what the gardeners try to do, and now what all fools try to do. They basically try to educate people about their financial well-being in a way that people can understand, and in a way that won't get their heads chopped off, financially speaking.
The Motley Fool is the world's premier multimedia financial education company. Since its inception in the early 1990s, it has helped tens of millions of people manage their investments.
Initially, the brothers Gardner, David and Tom Gardner, had this sort of foolish philosophy that they wanted to be able to actually help people with their investments in a way that people actually understood. So the Fool got started as sort of a newsletter and kind of a building of a community message board and that type of thing.
Today, besides being a pretty cool place to work, the Motley Fool educates its clients using not only its website and monthly newsletters, but several forms of traditional media as well. Shirley Corkill, Chief Technology Officer for the Fool, explains.
We have a syndicated newsletter column that David and Tom, our founders, write. We also have an NPR news show, and they have produced a number of books. So we actually have two components of our relationship with our customers, an online segment and an offline segment.
What makes the Fool particularly unique, however, is that the offline segments grew out of the online segments, rather than the other way around. Let's take a look at how the Motley Fool employs information technology online and examine how this continues to fuel growth in both segments.
Well, we're largely a Microsoft shop, so we have a number of technologies that we employ to basically present the site. So we have Microsoft web servers, Microsoft database servers. We also partner on the hardware side with Dell and partner with Cisco on the networking side. So we bring all those things together, and that is our overall hardware and software component of the site. From the development perspective, we are a custom development shop. And so we have Microsoft tools that we're leveraging to deploy that code and create the code for the web pages, the database engine, all the things in the back.
Many web companies, like the Motley Fool, use external NOCs, or data centers, to connect them to the internet backbone.
We use a network operations center, or a NOC, that's external in Northern Virginia, and those folks provide that 24/7, 365 capability.
The Fool also has an infrastructure that they have built which provides them clustered and redundant database servers. These are used not just for failover, but also for peak periods.
So occasionally we'll have a peak when we have an email, a large email drop, or when we release a newsletter issue. So because we have so many subscribers, when we release that newsletter issue at noon on Thursdays for a particular product, then we'll get a lot of folks coming back that minute to check out the latest issue.
In addition to maintaining a constant web presence, the Motley Fool also has to ensure that it protects its data from hackers and viruses.
There are a number of things that we do. Three basic things. We have best practices network deployment, so our network is infrastructure is designed in the best practices way. The second thing that we do is separate any customer information into a secure segment that is encrypted and in a separate part of the network, so that it's only accessible from those applications that need to see that information. And the third thing that we do is have rigorous testing and implementation of virus patches and security patches. So we test them to make sure that there's nothing that's happened or would happen with implementing that patch. And then we release those patches at all of the levels of network, server, PC, email.
Keeping the website secure is crucial for maintaining a business. However, in order to grow a business, smart companies use data mining tools to constantly improve their website's functionality.
One of the tools that we have to use is a product from Visual Sciences, a company called Visual Sciences. We have an example here of a chart that we happen to use and look at daily that shows things like page views, sessions, visitors, and so that's the standard stuff we track from a web analytics perspective. On the customer side, it enables us to be able to really service our customers better by providing a better customer experience. We can see folks that have taken a free trial, that they've come to the site, they've enjoyed the rich experience on a newsletter, one of the newsletter companion sites. They've seen some issues, they've interacted on the board, and this tool helps us with that information so that we can see where we might have a problem on the site or the user experience isn't as customer friendly as we'd like it to be.
There are two primary types of IT metrics: efficiency metrics, which measure the actual IT system's performance, and effectiveness metrics, which measure the impact of IT on the business.
On the technical side, we use products from Mercury that enable us to do both internal monitoring and alerting. So testing an application, for example, is the web page coming up? Is it coming up in the time period we expect it? And then we do external testing, which is what's the performance for all of the world against our site. So that would be on the technical side, leveraging Mercury tools. The second thing we do on the business side is use key performance indicators, or KPIs. And we identify those KPIs for what is the actual performance for something like new subscribers versus what is the goal and the pacing of that goal at that point in time. So these are produced daily, and they're quick snapshots into how is the business performing for each of those key metrics that we measure the business on.
As software and technology evolves, Shirley's department constantly evaluates their methodology to ensure that they stay as efficient as possible with their time.
For example, since we are largely a custom shop, we used to write a lot of our own tools. So we wrote a web analytics engine 5 or 6 years ago, and it was state-of-the-art, cutting edge. Since then, it's become a commodity product, and so we've purchased some of those things. So we're always learning, because there's always something that is new out there, and Internet 2 is coming, and there's all kinds of stuff that's always evolving and learning, and we have to adapt to.
As we spoke with Shirley, it became apparent that much of the Motley Fool's success is due to the fact that the company does such a great job of integrating the IT department into the overall company strategy and planning.
I think one of the things that I like best about the Fool is the open environment and the team structure. So as a technology person, in some companies you don't have the capability to influence business direction, and at the Fool I think we're lucky because we have a lot of interaction with the founders and with all of the executive team, and we all share ideas about business, technology, whatever, and I can drive and have influence in the direction in which we take the company, and that's exciting for me.
And it is that excitement and motivation which seems to trickle down throughout the organization. Because when the IT department does its job well, that enables employees like Matthew Emmert to succeed in their own areas.
Being able to do something that I love, that I'm completely interested in, but also to have the opportunity to write about that every day and reach hundreds of thousands of people and help them better their financial life and get people interested in these same things that I'm interested in, there's nothing better.